Hey, what's up YouTubers? I decided to make this video just because I just got the Reactor ensemble called Polyplex, which is a pretty good drum machine, I think I can call, or sampler. And since I am a Ableton Push user, I decided to make a rack just to make stuff just to work better with Push. And I'm pretty glad with the results, so I decided just to share the rack that I created. You know, of course, you can, like, by default, you can just use the Polyplex with your regular keyboard. It works pretty good, doesn't get me wrong, but I think when you assign that to Push, you unleash much more of the potential. So here's what I got. Basically, I got a Push here. What I will do, hopefully you can see that I'm gonna just add the rack that I created. So basically the first part of this video will just show the final result, what we're gonna accomplish with that, and the second part of the video I'm gonna show how to create the rack if you want to create yourself. But I will also make available for download the rack, so if you don't bother just to create yourself, you can just download it. So basically I go to my places, excuse me, then go to my user library. I have some presets here. So if you see, I have created a preset called Polyplex Push. Let me load. Just give it a second. Okay, so here we have it. Since Polyplex have 8 slots, I mapped those slots as your first 8 pads on Push. So what I have here, pretty straightforward. So you can do your regular Push step sequencing, like I have a kick. I'm gonna very basic, everybody's aware of that, so cool. But the good thing that I decided to change, since Polyplex has 7 kit variations, I mapped those 7 kit variations to those pads above it. So at the moment, for example, let's play this. I can change the kit variation here. Of course, I have the same from each one. So let me just make some changes here. So that's one variation, that's another. So it's very handy, you can access very quickly. And the good thing as well is you can step sequence there. So for example, I select here, I wanted to have the first variation, and the second variation I want to just go here. So we'll cycle between the 2 variations, or more if you like, of course. Or you can just remove that. So it's already much more powerful than you use your regular keyboard. It's great. But one more thing that I did was, if I scroll up, I go to a second part of my drum rack. So what I mapped for those 8 pads here are the dice for each individual voice. So you can just randomize individually each voice. For example, I have my first voice dice just over here, so I can just roll the dice. Same thing here. And again, the cool thing, you can sequence that as well. So let's say I'm gonna roll the dice here, and for the snare I'm gonna rise. I don't know. Pretty crazy stuff, right? And of course, if you came back, I can still go back to my other variations. So again, I think that's very, very powerful to use with Push. And one more thing that I forgot to mention is let me just play that again. Cool. If I access my browser, I also add a program and sub-program chain, so I can basically just navigate through the presets that came with Polyplex, or of course you can navigate if you create your own as well. So simple as that. My second sub-bank, let me do it. Stuff like that. So very hands-on, no look to the computer, which is pretty much Push philosophy, I suppose. So yeah, if you are interested to know how I created this rack, I will explain next. Okay, now let me show you how to create the rack. Well, basically let me just select my drums, and I'm gonna create my empty drum rack, and I go navigate to my plugins. I have my reactor. I'm gonna drop reactor to my first pad. Let me select my Polyplex ensemble. Okay. So the first pad is triggering the first voice on my Polyplex already, right? What I will do now, I go to my instruments, external instrument. I'm going to drag it to my second pad. Just move that a little bit. What I will do here, I will select my MIDI 2, I will select my drum rack, and just leave that on the first reactor. So basically, now my second pad is also triggering the first voice of Polyplex. We don't want that. We want to change it. So what I will do? I will show my chains, show my I/O. Let me just close this for a second. And here you can see the receive note and the send note. If I go back to my reactor, and if I click on this button here, you can see each note that's assigned by default to the Polyplex for each voice. So basically, on my second pad, I wanted to trigger D3, and as you can see, it's both are triggering C3. So let me just change that to D3. So now my first voice and my second voice, and I will duplicate that to my other pads. And by the way I was doing is just hold Option and drag and drop, so create a copy. So again, I come here, the third pad I want to assign to E3. So E3, next one F3, next one G3, and the one after is A3. Scroll a little bit. B3, and finally C4. Okay, so what I do have: first voice, second, third. Good. I like to rename this. So for example, I will call just 1, and then, oops, sorry, 2, 3, so on. Great. Next up, what I will do a very similar, but now I'm gonna map the variations. The variations start from C2. So what do we do? Again, I'm gonna just hold Option and drag that to my other pads.
And you notice that I only drag it like 7 as opposed to 8 because we only have like 7 variations here. So the way I like to do, I like the first variation, my C2, to be on this pad, next pad gonna be the second variation, and so on. You could go bottom up. I don't know, just prefer from top to bottom. I think that makes more sense to me, but you can change if you like. So what, again, first off, let me just rename it so it's easier to change. I will call var 1, var 2, and just over here, that's my var 5. You notice that the order is different because it's just to match the pads. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 here. So again, let's select my second. Of course, we have to change the notes assigned as well. So far is everything showing just the C4, which we don't want. So for my first variation, it's gonna be C2. So I'm gonna go down. Second one, D2. Final F. Okay, and for my pad number 5 is G2, A2, and B2 here. Okay, so now if you look on this little keyboard here, you can see when I trigger, it changes. Next one, next one, next one, and next one. Good, good. So again, if I select the second one, I make some variations here. That's my first variation. That's my first variation. My second variation. So you can see the difference. Perfect. Next up is to create a mapping for the dice. So I'm gonna scroll that up, or better, let me just grab one of those. Anyone? I'm gonna drag and drop here, and again, same deal. I will just replicate that for 8 pads. And what I like to do for these ones is, okay, let me select this one. Again, I'm gonna rename it that. So dice 1, I think that will work fine. Okay, so we have to assign our notes as well. Let me just move this. So basically, I can assign anything that I'm not using actually. So what I will do, I will just select from, because the first one is E2 and I know that my E4 is not being used, I'm going just for the E4 and keep it going in sequence, you know. So F4, F sharp 4, G4, G sharp 4. Next one's gonna be A4, A sharp 4, finally B4. Okay. Again, doesn't matter. As far as you're not using these notes for anything else on this channel, you should be fine with anything. So let me just bring that back here. Okay. So every time I trigger, it's not doing anything, of course. What I have to do next is right-click and select MIDI to ASCII and ASCII Learn. So I enable MIDI Learn and I trigger. Now, every time I trigger, you see the dice rolling. And I will do the same thing here. Enable MIDI, second one, enable MIDI, third one, enable MIDI, fourth one. That's my fifth one. And my last. So first dice, second, third, so on. Everything works like we expect. That's good. So we pretty much have our rack already done. Just an extra touch that I like to do. Like I go to my first pad here, where I have my reactor loaded. So in this pad, what I'm gonna do is to load Max for Live device that will be allow me to change the presets within the Polyplex. So what I have here, I have this preset. I'm gonna just drag and drop. I did not create this preset myself. I just downloaded from the internet. So I'm gonna put the link on the description of this video if you want to download that as well. But again, if you download the rack, it will come with the preset already. So basically, what I do is I'm just interested in the sub and the program changes. So I'm gonna enable here my macros. My program change, right click, I'm gonna map it to the macro 1 and sub to macro 2. I can even collapse this. I don't need to see this anymore. So in fact, I need to see this just to open back my Polyplex. I have my first preset loaded, and as I change my dial, you'll see here change my presets. So really good stuff, very flexible. You don't have to touch your keyboard or mouse at all. Pretty much you can do everything from a push, and that's always a good thing. No, I'm pretty sure you push users out there, if you decide to buy the devices because you just wanted to have a real hardware experience, and that's I suppose with this rack you get a much better experience for that matter. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and thank you for watching. Bye.